Hi everyone. Thank you for joining this new session of the Supply Chain Leaders webinars. A great thank you to our today's speaker, Pascal Jouaneau, former Operations and Supply Chain Director at Wonderbox, who's now in charge of research and development for Wonderbox. Thank you for sharing your experience on the implementation of a supply chain planning cockpit, enabling Wonderbox to manage strategic and tactical decision-making. Wonderbox is the European leader in gift boxes. The presentation will last about 30 minutes, plus a 15-minute Q&A session. You can ask your questions as of now in the Q&A section of your screen. And now, I'm going to hand it over to Pascal to start the presentation.
Good morning, everybody. I am Pascal Jouaneau. Thank you, Nairi, for the introduction. Today, I will be sharing with you the experience and benefits of the project led in Wonderbox, targeting at the improvement of our processes through the implementation of a new organization and IT solution support. Let's start with the context and a quick presentation of the Wonderbox Group. Wonderbox is the European leader in the gift box market. We also have a strong leading position in the Netherlands with more than 80% of market shares in the gift card business. We are number 1 or 2 in all Western European markets, with half of our revenue in France, where the market is the most disputed. Wonderbox Group has a broad range of products, many brands, out of which Wonderbox is the main one, sold in many countries. We also have other brands coming from companies which have been acquired over the past 5 years by the group and which are completing our offer. Each brand is addressing various thematics such as sport, wellness, gastronomy, travel, and recently culture, leisure parks, etc. Wonderbox Group addresses many distribution channels. Retail is the main one, followed by our websites. We also have other channels such as travel agencies and a specific B2B channel where we propose business solutions through the adaptation of our standard products to customize those products to customer requirements. We distribute products in more than 10,000 points of sales. Our various customers have many logistic rules requiring adaptation, and the B2C flow in each country coming from our internet sales are forcing us to cope with various service requirements depending on country habits. Wonderbox is a young company who has shown over its 15 years of existence a continuous growth, transforming the company from a startup into a multinational group holding several companies acquired over the time. The growth has been managed first by implementing the Wonderbox brand in new countries, then reinforcing its presence in Europe through the acquisition and merge with new brands strongly implemented in other countries. The fast growth has been made with the will to keep a startup mindset, including agility and fast-moving execution. It was a big challenge to cope with increasing complexity in customer types, multiple brands management, and willing to remain flexible, agile, and productive at the same time. In that context, it was important for the group to envisage or consider a deep transformation to manage the growth and secure further growth management. Most of the departments in the companies were not integrated with each other's. We were exchanging a lot of files. We made manually and reworked before being injected into independent department tools. One of the core projects that we decided was the IFER project, with the implementation of SAP, allowing automatic interfacing between mainly operation and finance, where the strength was put. This project was conducted over the past 2 years. In addition to the IFER project, there was a strong requirement from the top management to keep agility in forecasting and fast decision-making regarding points of sales replenishment, as well as central inventory management. It is also very important to be able to simulate new sales campaign, new acquisitions, in order to make decisions and get consensus, anticipate actions, and of course, ease execution. The Magellan project was launched in order to select the solution with which we will be able to implement a new Wonderbox supply chain with a decision-making solution addressing forecasting, DRP, delivery resource planning for point of sales, and MRP, material replenishment planning, for the warehouses. After requesting quotations from several editors, FutureMaster solutions were selected and have been implemented through the Magellan project. Both SAP and FutureMaster have been implemented, keeping in mind the alignment with standard developments of these solutions and avoidance of customized program and development. Magellan project with FutureMaster covers the 3 key horizons enabling company management. The tactical horizon is the heart of the project, with the support of the S&OP process, addressing the understanding of market needs and related capacity requirements at manufacturing and logistic locations. The cockpit, built with FutureMaster solution, is enabling direct link with the strategic and operational horizon. The strategic horizon is covering forecast on long-term horizon and capacity planning. From market requirement netted with inventories, we monitor our capability to cover the market requirements on a long-term basis and get ready to react long enough before getting the problem. The operational horizon is helping us to monitor stock allocation and inventory management regarding our customer strategy on a short-term basis and to perform execution in the ERP. 3 key processes, drive the activity of Wonderbox supply chain. These key processes are managed through the decision-making process addressed in each of the 3 key horizons. As previously explained, sales forecast is managed on a strategic horizon in order to understand the market requirements without constraints on an 18-month horizon. The first 3-month horizon forecast is used to manage the DRP process on a tactical horizon. We work with our customers on a vendor-managed inventory mode, meaning that we propose replenishment of the point of sales based on the forecast and the inventory positions we have at point of sales. The stock is ours. It's not belonging to the customer, but we have to go through customer validation before delivering. The 18-month horizon forecast is used to make analysis of our capacity capability, making sure it fulfills our needs. The MRP process is managed on the tactical horizon. This process is also used to supply generic semi-finished components, such as standard components like boxes, RFID tags, for example, that are all included in our products. The semi-finished components are stored in order to reduce time to market of finished products and fast answer for customized products in the B2B channels. FutureMaster Cockpit is interfaced with the ERP to collect data for calculation. Forecast is managed in the cockpit and can be extracted through reports. Results of DRP and MRP are sent back to the ERP for execution. This execution remains in either purchase order, either central replenishment orders, customer orders. Magellan project is addressing the global supply chain complexity from end to end. As you have maybe understood, our modelization is like a rocket with 2 stages. The first point is the sales forecast, who is the fuel to manage the DRP and customer replenishment for all our customer types, B2B as well as B2C. DRP is then the fuel to manage the MRP and replenishment of our semi-finished or finished products into the warehouses. This global exercise is contributing to strict inventory management and customer satisfaction and service at the right and precise level of decisions. We worked at the level of point of sales as well as the level of warehouses. The project has been organized into 16 workshops. These workshops are addressing the pace of execution, user interface design, and reporting construction. Out of these 16 workshops, 6 workshops are dedicated to the process design and business modelization principles. Data structure is the first workshop, very important, detailing the language and objects which are going to be used in the cockpit. Forecast process, DRP, MRP calculation principles, input data flows for each of these processes are described and specified for IT development after each workshop. The project has been led with FutureMaster and Wonderbox combined teams, respecting the standard of FutureMaster solutions and copying with the examples we had. It was easy to cope with Wonderbox specification requirements. The challenge has been to stay and to remain in line with the standard and business requirements, as well as keeping standard solutions in the tools. A preliminary design of the Wonderbox business case that was made during the editor selection has helped a lot for the workshop to get mutual understanding. I want to insist on the data management process. This process is the key element conditioning the success of the project. It is really mandatory to understand at which level of information the process must be managed. If you are at too high level, you lose visibility. If you are at too detailed level, you increase complexity and inaccuracy, which would lead to impossibility to make decisions. We have used our customer and product hierarchies to decide with which objects we want to work. It was easy as those hierarchies were implemented in SAP. It was for the customers, it was quite obvious that we need our customer hierarchy, point of sales, and warehouse location. Those processes should be managed at that level. On top of that, the information was straightly available from SAP through our customer datasheet or business modelization for the warehouse. Regarding the products, we have rejected the SKU level. Why? Because we were having too many. It would have increased complexity, wasted a lot of time in problem solving, and finally making the use of the tool very uncomfortable. We have created a product model grouping SKUs with similarities and representing them through some kind of shadow SKU. As processes are managed at tactical and strategical level, it was not a problem to not being executed at SKU level because we were not in the execution mode. We had to add the model to each product datasheet in SAP, and that was quite easy from the rules we decided. And we were making sure that each SKU was linked to one single model. Then finally, we decided the expression level for each of our processes. Forecast was decided to be expressed at customer model level, DRP at point of sales and model level, and the warehouse MRP and warehouse replenishment at warehouse and model level. Regarding the product model principle, its construction has been made, as I said previously, by grouping SKUs with similarities. it is important to have sellable items sorted from obsolete items in different groups, and to identify in each of the group the manufacturable SKU. This manufacturable SKU will facilitate the link with execution in MRP, translating model into SKUs, especially when you want to forecast or plan the inventories to cover the market. The model languages gives many advantages. We have reduced the number of data records. It has simplified our user interface, giving a minimum of line to analyze. It has, of course, by aggregation, increased the accuracy, and we have had very facility to solve problem and then finally make our decision, which is the most important. Sales and operation planning process is managed in 3 steps. First, the forecast is managed at customer model level. The calculation is proposed by Future Master based on history, marketing plan, business adjustments that the planning team is aware of. This first result is converted into a forecast at point of sales model level. This level is a second level where which the order can be refined, and let's say the process can be refined for adjustments. So we have consistency between the aggregated forecast at customer level and the disaggregated forecast at point of sales level. During the sales and operation planning meeting, final meeting, with marketing, sales, and finance, we made some adjustments in order to get the final forecast. So this final forecast is a consensus between the various departments involved in the S&OP process. The meeting is managed directly in the cockpit, and we don't have to extract Excel data sheets or things like that. So it's really directly in the cockpit that it's managed. And of course, the adjustments are made immediately, so the final forecast can be agreed directly in the meeting. The S&OP is managed monthly, like in a regular process. Final forecast results are directly stored and are used on a weekly basis to run the DRP on a 3-month horizon for point of sales replenishment level. Then the DRP, which is extended to the 18-month horizon, is a key input to run the MRP monthly to check our capacity compliance and warehouse inventory strategy. Now, if we focus on the DRP at point of sales model level is converted into weekly replenishment requirements. These requirements are consolidating on a 2 to 4 weeks horizon and entered into the MRP for order execution. The input process into SAP is managed by some kind of translation of the model back into sellable SKU. The various SKUs pointing at one model are allocated to customers based on various inputs. The first one is the trade marketing, key account strategy, where we allocate such and such SKUs to the various customers. As I explained to you, we work on a VMI mode. It means that we manage the point of sales replenishment, but nevertheless, as soon as the customer are informed about this order intent from us, we go through validation with some of them, and when the orders are validated or changed, we launch the execution in SAP. Once the DRP results are available, on an 18-month horizon, we run the MRP calculation, netting the business requirements with available sellable inventory in the warehouse. The result is a procurement plan expressed either at finished product model level, okay, to check the capacity, but we can also use some kind of shadow bill of material to express this procurement plan at semi-finished model level in order to plan the semi-finished product stock. Wonderbox is managing this replenishment or replenishment process like a push-pull flow. For this last exercise, it is mandatory to create a shadow bill of material where we can anticipate the inventory of semi-finished products, which we are stored in a specific warehouse. And then we pull out of that the finished products through the assembly process of the product, adding to the standard components, specific components, in a short lead time. Magellan project is covering the full scope and objective which have been set for the Wonderbox supply chain management. The easiness of modelization is enabling us to react very fast when either acquiring a new brand or a new company or setting a new sales campaign. The two future master solutions, demand management and distribution planning, are addressing our key processes on key horizons, helping us to manage the supply chain stakes. The project is addressing 7 countries with several brands in each of them. We have a team of 11 key users, out of which 2 are managing forecasts centrally, and they also manage the MRP as it is central decision. Locally, the rest of the managers manage the DRP as it is addressing specific country customers. The implementation has taken 8 months, followed by a progressing rollout in the countries. Of course, the solution has also been fully integrated through automatic interfaces with our information system and the various elements of the warehouse IT system. Now, let's talk further about benefits. The benefits are of 2 types. The quantitative benefits are measured regularly. Independently from production increase, forecast accuracy, inventory reduction, and connected savings in logistics, the project has been the occasion for driving impressive change management in teams centrally and locally. This has facilitated the supply chain management functions. It has also reinforced the confidence in our team and stabilized the turnover that we were facing, having many people managing business rather than managing Excel sheets. In addition to the quantitative benefits, we have measurable benefits. Magellan project has secured the company in decision-making processes on the 3 horizons, keeping the agility and flexibility of a startup company. The processes are now managed and understood by all, and that is making the whole team feel more secure. Top management also is looking or expecting fast reaction from these processes in order to make decisions. Of course, the project could not have been made without key success factors. I have picked out of those factors 2 main ones. The first one remains in standard solution. It is the main factor to have alignment with standard development of future master solutions when designing our cockpits. This will guarantee the possibility for us to evolve with future master continuous improvement, keeping our productivity and agility. It is also very important before starting the project to have a clear vision. The Wonderbox team already had a clear vision of business and tool specification. Our request for quotation was very detailed, and as I said before, we asked for some kind of business case modelization before choosing or selecting the editor. The collaboration with the future master teams has been very constructive, and their expertise has facilitated modelization of our business. It has strongly contributed to the project dynamics. I will insist, but you know that already, on the data construction phase, which has also been a very important step to the project's success. Last but not least, the project has given a fantastic opportunity in terms of change management. Creating project dynamics by sharing the stakes, involving key users from the start of the project, and making the team available by setting the project as a first priority, we have facilitated the project appropriation by the key users and even by those who were trained during the rollout phase. There was a lot of communication around the project, keeping people on track of what was happening. The tasks that have been handled are now better value-added actions. Those actions have contributed to results and good understanding of role and responsibilities in the global results of the company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pascal, for this very interesting, very detailed case study. So we're going now to start the Q&A session. As usual, we're going to try to respond to as many questions asked by the attendees as possible during the next 15 minutes. So let's start. The first question we have is the following. So Wonderbox has a service-based business. Can you describe the value that supply chain is expected to provide to this type of business?
Well, as you know, the customer is like in many companies, the customer is the center of everything. The target for the supply chain and mainly the operation department is to have on time in full delivery, mainly for the B2C customers. Let's say the value that the supply chain has to bring is the inventory management, knowing, as I explained, that we work in a VMI mode and that we have to face and convince our customers that we bring service, that we don't bring too much inventory, but just the right inventory to cover the market needs. During key events, we have, of course, exceptional sales. Christmas is, we predict a large volume. After, the challenge is to decide where this volume is going to be. So we have to have a quite fast reaction, and having, let's say, a long-term planning with the right amount of products is enabling to distribute at the very last moment to the right point of sales. The last point in terms of service is the inventory management regarding finished goods as well as semi-finished goods. Without let's say, the supply chain tools, we were in fact guessing or trying to guess what the business would be, and having, let's say, the habit to increase our inventory in order to keep safe from the availability side. Of course, this was not very good because we were spending a lot of money, wasting a lot of money, and not being sure that we could answer to the market. So this, let's say, this inventory management and supply chain tool has helped us to reduce, of course, the inventory, but to have the inventory with better accuracy to answer to market needs. On top of that, we have standardized a lot of our, let's say, standard components management, procuring them on more a mass mode rather than detailed mode, and this has contributed also to cost saving. So the service to customers has been declined into service internally inside the company.
Okay. Thank you for this. So how do you deal with the corner store replenishment?
Corner stores. We have different types of corner stores. We have corner stores that we implement just for a period of time, Christmas, Mother's Day, which are bringing additional visibility and additional, let's say, sales. Those sales increased are built in the cockpit on the period of time where the corner are implemented. And we use a lot of our history in order to understand how the sales will progress and how, let's say, the business is going to be managed. From a year to another, we have a quite good accuracy of the market reaction. And of course, we add a lot of marketing input because our marketing is very creative in terms of products. So we want to grab any kind of opportunity of market possibility. And these are modelized through, let's say, homotetical models into the cockpit. So it's like an additional increase of sales. We plan, of course, the inventory which is needed for the implementation of those corners separately, and it's added to the manufacturing forecast, to the MRP. When we have a corner which is implemented for a longer period of time, let's say several years, we work in the S&OP process. So of course, it is anticipated a long time ago. We work with in the S&OP process with sales and marketing department in order to modelize the expectation of sales and the increase of turnover. Based on that, we work very precisely on the model, on the various products which are going to be implemented in a corner, and on the, let's say, theme of each of product. And this is then injected into the cockpit, like, let's say, a modification of the point of sale, which is concerned by the corner. This modelization is just an inflection of the volumes based on the sales expectation. And of course, with time, it is readjusted permanently by future master solution. Based on that, we come very quickly after, let's say, 2 or 3 months of understanding, we come very quickly to a forecast which is accurate and which is, of course, used to supply the point of sales with the corner. When the corner stops, then we stop we start to decrease the sales based on the inventory available and come back to the, let's say, further situation without corners. So the tool is really easy for us to modelize those planned, let's say, events. And it is really done automatically by the planning team without any help from IT or necessary need to have IT interfering. It's just an inflection of the business records.
Okay, thank you for this very detailed answer. So what will be the future of Wonderbox supply chain in the context of digitalization?
Well, we have already implemented a digital supply chain, as all of our products are traced with RFID tags. So we have physical flows of products going from a warehouse, let's say manufacturing area to warehouse, from warehouse to the point of sales. And in each of the products, we have a voucher. This voucher has a unique serial number, and this unique serial number is traced all along the life of the voucher. So all those flows, let's say, are managed digitally in our information system. They make consistency for finance, for operation, and also for marketing, as this traceability number, let's say, reflects the version of the product, when it was manufactured, what is the price attached to it, and how is it performing regarding the design of the product. So from this digital flow, we of course take a lot of information and understand how the market is reacting and behaving. Now, regarding pure digital product, for B2C market on the website, when the product is short, it means when we don't have physical product anymore, we propose unmaterialized product. It means that you get a mail with, let's say, a product which you can print and offer to your friend. This pure digital product is a solution which is implemented for shortage, but also when people are short in time, when they react at the very last moment, say, gosh, I have to make a gift and I don't know how can I get it? Then we offer the solution to have this digital product directly available in a few seconds from our information system. Those digital products in terms of supply chain are not forecasted. We don't have any constraints as it is the system generating them in a few seconds. Nevertheless, we take them into the forecast because from a financial point of view, the S&OP process has to be consolidated with all kinds of businesses.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is about the data model. So are there differences between consumers between European countries, and does the data model reflect these differences?
Okay, there are two questions in one. First, the difference between the countries, the European countries. Each country has different, let's say, events in the year. If I look, for example, at the Mother's Day celebration, we have different dates in Italy, in Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, let's say the rest of Europe, and France. So this is forcing us to adapt, of course, the forecast to those various events and when they take place. So, of course, we build forecasts based on the country, the customers in the country. Usually the companies we have in Wonderbox are attached to countries or cover different countries. And then we plan with the dedication to each of those events and planning the business as it is. I give you a last example, which is Spain. In Spain, we have Christmas, like for every country in Europe. But at the beginning of the year, at the end of the first week of January, they celebrate the Kings, which is called Los Reyes celebration. In terms of business, sometimes Christmas and Los Reyes are doing the same level of turnover. Sometimes Los Reyes are give more revenue than Christmas. We have also new trends in Europe, such as the end of school year. June and July are very popular time to make small gifts to teachers. And this is spreading from one country to another. So we have to adapt to each European country habits. Okay. Now, regarding the data model is very flexible. For example, in Belgium, we have, for one product, we have two versions, one in French, one in Dutch. And of course, you don't plan them because they are totally different when you build them. You don't plan them at the same time, mixing them. You really need to have an accuracy of the components and the type of products, because it is very inappropriate to distribute a French product in the Dutch area, in the Flemish area of Belgium, and a Flemish product into the French area of Belgium. So we have created a rule which is quite easy by giving model a different characteristic, whether the language is French or Dutch. And this is, in fact, one of the interests of the data model is that, in fact, the modelization is based, of course, of the type of product, but can also incorporate all the difficulty or the specificity you have addressing one market. And this has been very flexible.
Okay, thank you. Now a question regarding the MRP. Is there any plan in the future to constrain the availability of products in the MRP?
Well, Wonderbox is a company who has no factory, no printing facility, no warehouse. Everything is subcontracted. And of course, we want to grab all the opportunity of market, let's say, that we could have. So there is no plan to inject constraints in the MRP. The MRP is used to anticipate ups and downs of the market. Of course, when we incorporate a new company or where we incorporate a new brand in a country, we want to know immediately what is the effect. So having the MRP on 18-month horizons is largely sufficient to anticipate the need of additional, let's say, assembler, additional warehouse. So we have, let's say, we have the time over 18 months to lead a project which usually is taking 1 year, sorry. So it takes us 1 year to validate a new assembler. It takes us 1 year to manage a new printing facility, and the logistic warehouse, as we have, let's say, standard flows implementation, the rollout is taking a couple of months. So with the selection process, within 1 month, we are really flexible enough to answer to the market changes.
Okay, thank you. So do you have specific processes to manage channels, or do you apply the same processes to all?
Well, the target we have is to know what is happening in our point of sales. So in fact, we have difficulties when, for example, the customer is asking us to deliver the product centrally, okay? And we don't know what's happening after because, let's say, it's the customer who is distributing the products. So for the customer who has central warehouses, it is very difficult to do planning, as we can just see what was sold, what was delivered to the central warehouse. And basically, we don't know if, let's say, the point of sales inventory. So those customers are planned separately. We have, let's say, dedicated processes for them. Now we have another channel, which is the B2B channel, as I said, which is enterprise solutions. When we adapt our products, or our standard products, to a customized, let's say, version of product, we have, let's say, two types of business. The first one, and which is the most common for this channel, is a one-shot business. What we do here, we take the project, or we have a prospection pipe we discuss with this branch every month, and we increase a little bit the forecast in terms of components and finished products. Of course, when we have recurrent business, meaning the customer is ordering every month on a regular basis, then this is forecast like a regular customer. Regarding some business which could be small, for example, some travel agencies have a very small business. We don't work at point of sales level because it doesn't make any sense. We ensure, in fact, a volume of products and then answer within 24 hours to the market requirement, having, let's say, some kind of last kilometer delivery solution. So yes, we, based on the customer type, based on the configuration of this customer, we manage the process accordingly. But basically, the forecast is managed as a whole because it has to reflect the business of the company.
Okay. So how do you integrate new brands in the process?
New brands. Alors, new brands. Here also we have two, let's say, two ways. Either the brand is added to an existing country. As I said, Wonderbox brand is sold in most of the country. But sometimes we want to add a new product opportunity. We have the Vivabox, for example, brand. When we add Vivabox to France, it was like adding a new range of products into the forecast business. In this case, the cockpit is very flexible, and we add new models to the forecast, like new products, reflecting a different brand. The model, of course, is carrying the brand, more or less the brand name, and then we can sort by brand the forecast. So it's quite flexible, and again, it is done on a very easy mode, And it's just by when we decide that this brand is going to be implemented in such existing country, then we just add new models for new customers, and we express our forecast based on customer sales expectation or based on marketing potentials. When the new brand corresponds to a new company, meaning new country, or a new company into the let's say the one existing country, then the project is a little bit more complex because we have to add this new company into the cockpit. It means then we have to create the whole set of parameters into the solution, and this is let's say a more demanding project. So we based a project. We create a project team between IT and operations. We have sometimes the help of Future Master, depending on the complexity of addition. And this is a, let's say, small project, which is over 1-2 months, is managed easily. So two ways: either it's an addition to existing product range, and this is, let's say, self-managed. Either it's a new company, new business, and then we create a set of parameters into the cockpit to manage this new business.
Okay. So as we are actually running out of time, I'm just going to ask the last 3 questions. So one is about the data structure that you already mentioned. I think it's quite important, so I'm asking this question again. So why have you decided to work at product level instead of SKU level? How do you calculate requirements by SKU then? How do you manage phase in and phase out in this case?
Okay, there was an attempt to implement, let's say, a forecast tool at SKU level. I was very unsatisfied about the results. Why? Because we were having more than 10,000 SKUs. And of course, the management, each time it's 10,000 lines that you have to cope with and so on. And it doesn't make any sense because in fact, you are not, when you are doing forecast, you are not in an execution mode. You are in a strategical or tactical mode. So in fact, we were running too fast to execution, forgetting really the aim of the process, which was to set the right capacity for the market. It was not to distribute the SKU, it was to make sure that we have the right capacity and inventory to address the market. So too many records. The screens of the cockpit were very confused. People were working by SKU, so it was taking a lot of time. We were losing the focus on the real problems, sorry. And in fact, we were just trying to execute something, running too fast, with a loss of time and with a result which at the end was quite poor. Reducing the number of objects to be managed in the cockpit, of course, is making the vision clearer. On top of that, you aggregate. So instead of, when you work at SKU level, you are very inaccurate. The aggregation at model level is completely clearing the inadequacy, or let's say the inaccuracy of the SKU. You work at an aggregated level, and then, of course, it reduces the number of lines. You can rebalance your forecast based on the period of time. You work with a product mix which is simplified, okay, and in fact, you have the right level of accuracy. We were trying also to work at thematics level, sport, wellness, and so on. But this was too aggregated. We were losing focus, in fact, on the top sellers and what was the business about, and making sure we could follow, let's say, products that were generating higher sales or lower sales. So the product life cycle, in fact, has been driving the decision to work at model level. Regarding the management of phase in, phase out, and calculation, of course, we have a very big help in SAP managing our product data sheets. We have, as many people should know, many dates which are helping us sorting out the product. when you discuss about DRP, you manage the sellable items. So the inventory which is in the point of sale could be sold. So we have a date, which is the end of sellability. All the products which are obsolete are not considered in the forecast at the point of sales, and they are not grouped into the quantity of models. Same for distribution. When the marketing is decided or sales are deciding to stop the distribution, the products in the warehouse which are stopped are obsolete. They are either recycled, either destroyed, and they are not taken into account in the existing inventory or available inventory. And then, as I said before, to each model corresponds one SKU. So if you need to add inventory, you manufacture the only one SKU pointing at the model. So the management of those dates in the product life cycle of each SKU is facilitating, let's say, the process without any difficulty. It's just a strict application of the rule. And of course, this is designed automatically in the interface between SAP, or let's say the records we have in the ARP, and what is needed in terms of information for a future master cockpit.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. Okay, quickly, the last two questions so that we finish at 11. We are out of time, but it's as there's been so many questions, so I think it's worth it to take some more time. So you manage several forecast versions. How do you define which one is the right one? Do you measure every version's accuracy?
In fact, the planning team is playing with the cockpit in order to come, let's say, with a proposal at the SNOP process. So the planning team is collecting all the information regarding marketing, new product introduction, product phasing out, new, let's say, new point of sales opening, point of sales closing, new customer acquired, etc. So all those inputs, in fact, are injected into the planning exercise. Before running, let's say, the SNOP meeting, we have 1 week, more or less, in order to incorporate all those, let's say, information into the planning. So in fact, we have the planning team is working the planning, as I said, at customer model level and point of sales model level. Based on that, they come with a, let's say, a final proposal for the, well, not with a final, with a forecast proposal, sorry, at the SNOP process, SNOP meeting. The final, let's say, SNOP is decided at the end of the SNOP meeting. It's a consensus between, as I said, sales, marketing, and finance, and of course, operations. So there is only one record which is saved into the system. We have many versions, but at the end of the game, only one is set as the one with which we are going to work. Of course, we measure the accuracy every month on a 3-month basis in terms of business figures. We do not manage, let's say, the accuracy of all the versions that we are producing unless there is a disagreement. And then in that case, operations are keeping a track of the, let's say, the version which was disputed and check if it was better than the other one. But it is very seldom. Really, the idea is to have only one version of SNOP. And even we are making exercise in order to come to the final one, we just focus on the final one.
Okay, last question. So how do you collaborate with your customers? Do they provide you with forecasts apart from sales and stock data?
Stock data, in fact, we have, in fact, the data which is given, the theory meaning we have distributed such amount of products and we have sold such amount of products. So normally it's giving us the theoretical inventory remaining in the point of sales. We have a team, a field team, which is surveying regularly point of sales, and through an RFID process, they are checking in a few seconds the accuracy of the inventory, the theoretical inventory in the point of sales. This is done regularly, and based on that, those records are injected in our system, and in fact are readjusting the inventory to real based on this survey which is made on the field. So this inventory is, of course, a key input for the DRP, and it is pulling, in fact, the replenishment to the point of sales. This stock is not given by any of our customers. In fact, our customers, as soon as we have done a visit of the point of sales, are very interested by having us giving them the information. So it's the opposite. We provide sometimes the customer with information rather than in the opposite way. Regarding the forecast, as I said, we worked in a VMI mode. So it was very important for us to have a really quick solution, giving us the quantity of products to be distributed to the point of sales. Even if the stock is ours, the stock belongs to Wonderbox until it is sold. Some of the customers are very keen on checking the volume which is going to be delivered prior to the delivery. So we are doing some kind of explanation exercise. We give them the forecast vision based on history, based on the market trend. We said, okay, dear customer, this is what we are planning regarding your point of sales. And based on that and based on your inventory, this is the replenishment we do. This has to be done very quickly because we work every week, of course, with the sales, every week on replenishment of customers. Some customers are replenished once a month when there is a small flow of sales, but the rest of them is planned every 2 weeks. So, I mean, this process is taking a lot of time. Some of the customers have understood that we have a tool, that we have an accurate tool, the accuracy has increased, and they trust. It means that they just want to be informed about the delivery we are going to make, and it's more or less a green light process. Others, which are tending to reduce, they want to see, they want to check, and they want sometimes to amend or to discuss and so on. So we have a sales administration team which is dedicated to that, and they discuss every week with customers in order to make sure that what we are going to deliver is in line with the vision at least the vision we have and the vision that the customer has are aligned, and then we deliver what is planned. Some of our customers, based on those forecasts, are sending us orders. It means that it is a VMI process, but in order to be accepted into the point of sales, we have to, let's say, answer to one of their orders and, of course, take the order number into our delivery so that people can make sure that what we deliver has been already pre-accepted by the customer. We don't have any forecasts from customers. We hardly have inventory. We don't have forecasts, but we just discuss the orders based on our forecast inventory position.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pascal, for this really deep dive presentation into a successful supply chain planning project. We're very much interested, and thank you to the attendees for joining and also for asking questions. We are very much interested in having your feedback on this webinar, so please take a couple of minutes to fill in the evaluation survey that will appear at the end of the webinar. That you will also receive by email. You will also receive the link to the replay of the webinar very soon. And by the way, for your info, all the replays of Supply Chain Leaders webinars series are on Future Master website and on Future Master YouTube channel. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you, Pascal. for today, for joining today. Stay tuned for the next Supply Chain Leaders webinar that we'll announce shortly. And we wish you a good day or evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.